Hi there, Sandman here. And as you can see, I've decided to go with something modern here. Marvel has decided to troll us West Coast Avenger fans with a title that's West Coast Avengers only in name, with fake Hawkeye and girl Hawkeye and a bunch of other loser characters from all canceled books. And there's just so much to say. I can't even. It's pretty absurd. It's like Marvel just. This is basically a FU to the fans. This book was put out in spite, in my opinion. There is nothing remotely redeemable about this book. It's like, why call it West Coast Avengers? It's just to piss off longtime fans. This ain't the West Coast Avengers. This is. Look at these. These are. West Coast Avengers was like one of the best books of its time. It was actually better than the regular Avengers comic at the time. Throughout the years, like Avengers, West Coast Avengers started, the first 4-issue miniseries was awesome. Then it got given its own book with Steve Englehart, and then John Byrne took over. Still awesome. Then they changed the name to Avengers West Coast, and that was basically done just so all the Avenger titles would be displayed together on the shelf alphabetically. Then Byrne ended up leaving, and then the title steadily got, I don't want to say lower tier creators, but not superstar creators like before. And then every creator that came after just was lower tier, and eventually the book kind of became not a joke, but boring. Really lackluster art. And eventually got cancelled around issue 100 or something. Became Force Works, which really was a sign of the times, the extreme 90s, which led into The Crossing, which we won't talk about. But yeah, so the West Coast Avengers didn't show up for a long time. And then when it was referred to, it seemed like writers just kind of made it a joke. Like, I remember there's that Heroic Age Avengers 1, I think. Bendis he had Steve Rogers assigning superheroes to different Avengers teams. And then there's a scene where Mockingbird is like, please don't say West Coast Avengers. Please don't say West Coast Avengers. It's like, oh, come on. Bendis, that was terrible. Mockingbird would have been happy to be on the Avengers West Coast or West Coast Avengers. It was just kind of some kind of referential in-joke trying to say like that title was lame, which it wasn't. It was a really great title, and then what I loved about it is like every year the annual would cross over with the normal Avengers title annual, and they were always great stories. But so now we come to this. Oh my god. Where do I even start? Let's talk about Hawkeye. Real Hawkeye. That's not him, unfortunately. That's him. I don't know what they've done with Hawkeye. They made him some kind of cuck, or it's just... I don't know, this is the problem. She's one of the many writers at current Marvel that just cannot do their research and actually research the character they're writing about. Can't really lay this on her though, because this has been going on for a few years with different creators, with Clint Barton, Hawkeye. You see, back in the old days, like, Hawkeye first appeared, he was a criminal. And then he was put on the first major Avengers roster change. And he was really difficult and angry, and he'd always get in fights with Captain America. As time went on, he ended up being a good team player. Still pretty outspoken and loud, opinionated, but his heart was in the right place. And then his arc continued to grow when the West Coast Avengers came around. Vision put him in charge of the West Coast team, which caused him to mature and take on a leadership role, and really rose to the occasion. And he kept growing throughout his character arc, and the character arc was consistent, like, even through different writers and different creators. They never ignored what came before. It just kind of built up, and then, like in Kurt Busiek's Heroes Return Avengers, Hawkeye was back in the team. Then he left to lead the Thunderbolts because he thought they needed guidance, and it was a natural progression of his arc. After that, I kind of lost track of him because I had to quit comics for a bit, but everything just kept building on what was revealed about him throughout different creators. When new creator took on his book, whatever book he was in, they took his character progression and into a natural progression. But now, like in the last 4 or 5 years, first I blame the movie because for some reason they had to get him out of that superhero uniform and get him into a, quote, air quotes here, realistic outfit. But it looks stupid. It doesn't even look like the one from the movie. So I don't even get it. And he's wearing sunglasses, which, I don't know, which would kind of affect his aim, I think. Except when he's looking into the sun, I guess. But he's a totally completely different character now. He's just cucked out. He's just deferring to everyone. He's kind of like I'll get into it more as the comic goes on when I look through it more. But as we talk about Hawkeyes that are not consistent, I didn't know this was the Kate Bishop Hawkeye at first. I don't have much experience reading her, but the first time I remember reading her is that Young Avengers, the first Young Avengers, with the beautiful Jimmy Chung, I think it's Jimmy Chung art. She looked great in that. It was a great design, great costume, and now she's got this weird, nondescript leotard onesie kind of thing with these stupid boots. And then, I don't know, you can't tell the glasses here, but it looks like they're drawing her really Asian now. I don't know if she was before. I think she was half Korean, half white, but yeah, let's just get on with this, I guess. Look at this goofy hijinks inside. Oh, and then let's talk about the creators. Kelly Thompson. Really kind of lost respect for her. Didn't really know her before, but she was involved in that chat there. A bunch of creators were having. Her, Tony Espinito, B. Claymore, when they were trying to set up Richard C. Meyer, trying to instigate a fight with him so he would so they could press charges on him or something ridiculous like that at some convention. Never ended up happening, but it was just surprised to see a woman involved in that. It's very unprofessional. Stefano Caselli, I've seen his name here and there, but not really too familiar with his art. Oh, before going on too, I don't really get too many modern comics, but this paper is weird. I've seen videos where the ink actually comes off on your fingers and smudges the page. I've been trying to do it, can't get it to do it right now, but it's like, I don't know, like, is the interior paper the same as the cover? That's just really odd to me. Like, the cover should be a harder stock than the inside, but whatever. And like most modern Marvel comics, we get some goofy splash page. See, this page here, going back to the Shooter school of thought, this really needs to draw you in. It should be a beautiful splash page by the artist. Almost like a second cover. It should really hook you into the comic. This looks like some kind of foreword that I never read in novels. I just turn the page. Kate Bishop, West Coast Avengers, Best Coast, haha. Hawkeye Canning. This is kind of millennial, terrible humor. Kate Bishop, aka Hawkeye, recently moved out to California to start a new life as a private investigator. So far, she's been able to handle everything the West Coast has thrown at her, but it's throwing a lot harder lately. Yeah, okay. So here we have fake Hawkeye. Look at his dialogue. His dialogue is not consistent with like 40 years of comics. Which camera? They didn't say. The one right in front of me. Oh, right, the red light. Okay, yeah, sure, that makes sense. I'm sure Hawkeye knows what camera to look at. Jesus. So, Kate Bishop, isn't she a bit young to lead? A bit inexperienced? Yeah, like, why would... Hawkeye's been a leader of multiple teams. Why would he be in a team under his, I don't know if I'd call her a protege, but he should be leading, not her. And then he starts defending her. Do you know how many times Kate has almost gotten killed for you people? Doesn't that just mean she isn't very good at this? Exactly what it means. What? That's the dumbest thing I ever... Where do you get you people? I swear, do you even have credentials? Yeah, this is like kind of like virtual signaling here. Of course she is. Of course she should lead. She's a woman. She's better than us. Yeah, let's just go on. And then we cut into some silly scene. Oh, sharks with feet and land sharks. Yes, pick up. Look at this. Hey, Katie. It's funny you called. I was just going to call you the funniest thing. Yeah, Hawkeye doesn't talk like that. And he certainly doesn't take a shut up from like someone half his age. Here he is in a coffee shop in full costume. Oh boy. Totally baited out. I'm skipping a lot of bad stuff too, just because I'll never get through this. And look at this, he gets thrown out through, what's her name, Scargate, America Chavez. I feel like there was a better way to do this. Yeah, I guess America Chavez is a lesbian. She's hitting on... Only because you called me adorable, that's not what I meant. I don't care. She's kind of hitting on Kate. And look at this, some more virtual signaling. Kate is an excellent leader. She could do anything to save the day. Anything, to be honest. It's shocking she's still alive. Is that really an endorsement? I feel like the camera guys are like, the interviewers are like the audience, the normie audience. The shark we're riding seems like the leader. Do we know what they want? Well, they're sharks, and they go out on a limb and say they want to eat stuff. Like your limb. It's funny how male Hawkeye is like deferring to a young female Hawkeye. I don't know if this guy's ever appeared before, aka Fuse. Seems lame. Super diverse. I don't think those nose ring, earrings, and lip ring would work well in a fight. Someone's gonna rip those off and really fuck them up. Oops, F them up. Look at this. Maybe we should lasso him. Or not lasso him. Put reins on him. What did they say here? Yeah, what do we need? Reins. Yeah, that might work. This is the worst plan. It sure is. Let's swing right into his mouth. I can't believe that actually worked. Me either, Hawkeye. Yeah. Yeah, let's... This... I don't know, this scene is kind of something... As many others say, LOL, so random. It's just... Like, would you really just let the sharks, just land sharks, take off? They'll definitely come back. Won't they be a threat for later on? Oh, look at this. Wait, she's going to be in the ocean with a bunch of giant sharks. Wah wah. Uh-oh. We goofed. Look at this, like... Hawkeye's like that guy. You ever go to college and there's always like that one guy who's 35 to 40 hanging around with the 20-year-olds like he's one of them, but he really just stands out. It's like, why is he with them? And he's not even like mentoring them really. Like, he should be mentoring them, being their leader, and you could kind of play the straight man to the goofy kids kind of routine, but it's just like, hey guys, I'm cool too. And there. See, the thing is, in that Young Avengers miniseries I was talking about earlier, their first appearance, Kate was more of a leader in there than she is now. She looks like she's like... She's got super anxiety and just can't handle life. Look at her just like, I just can't deal. It was like she was more confident and in charge. Here we get stupid millennial humor. Attention, superheroes needed for the West Coast based team. Experience preferred but not required. Background check required. AKA villains don't even try it. It's like, God, it's so cringy. And this routine here, this is like usually a winter routine for most shows and comics to pull. The audition thing where you just get these wacky and stupid auditioners. But this one is just totally not funny. It's like, I'm the Spider. Nope, no way. I'm sorry, you gotta go. Surf Doctor. Yeah, how you doing? The Broken Watch. The Dark Pine. Silver Snowboarder. I actually like the look of her. I wouldn't mind seeing something with her. The Dutch Oven. It's like this, you're just polluting Marvel, Wolverine. You're just polluting Marvel with this stupid characters. Like, you need the Scourge character from the 80s, the one, you know, that kills supervillains and say justice is served. We need him to come back and clean out some of these dead weight characters. Then we got Gwenpool. So I don't have really any experience in her, other than I know that she was based on a Marvel editor, Heather Ontos. It's bad enough, like all this Gwen stuff, like Spider-Gwen and Gwenpool. It's like, when did this become a thing? Why would you have a character named something Gwen, like Super Gwen, Spider Gwen, Bat Gwen? Like, it's stupid. It doesn't make any sense. This is where we're gonna. Marvel has really let itself go. Like, you know, I was really got heavy into comics in the early 80s, and it's about the time DC hit 50 years, and they were doing Crisis on Infinite Earth. A lot of stuff, or a lot of people in the fan community would say, like, DC got silly with all that Silver Age stuff because they've been around too long. And people were saying, like, Marvel would, you know, is so much better because it didn't have that years of baggage. Well, I think Marvel isn't 50 yet. It's pretty close to it, and it's worse than DC was back at that time. Like, this is worse than that Silver Age silliness. Like, look at Hawkeye. Wait, there are 5 of us. You said you're not full time. Oh, right. Carry on. It's just like a doofus. This is not the same character. Come back, Hawkeye. Come back. Then some other super diverse guy. I'm gonna pick this up or else I'll never finish. I think I'm like past 20 minutes at this point. Yeah, I don't know where this came from. If they were a thing before this comic, I don't even know. Don't care. Some non-funny stuff. We're going to do something finally. Oh, do we have a connection to the West Coast Avengers again? The original Tigra. Except she's a giant now. Savage. Wait, Tigra from the old West Coast Avengers team? Was she always 200 feet tall? No, she was definitely not. Yeah, I feel like that would have been mentioned somewhere in the stats. Oh, here's from the old West Coast Avengers team. I should mention at this point, they haven't called themselves West Coast Avengers. There's been no mention on them being named West Coast Avengers other than on the front cover. Some good editing there. Who's the editor? Let's call him out. Alana Smith. One of the milkshake girls, isn't she? What a surprise. Diversity hire. Except she isn't diverse, is she? She's like a white girl, isn't she? White girl with thick ribbed glasses. SJW. And then they try to give her that last minute expired confidence. Look, I can really lead after all. Meanwhile, Hawkeye, the guy who should be taking charge, is, I'll just be out here if you need me. You know, I really wish I could do that America Chavez voice that Diversity in Comics does. It just made those videos so much better. Oh, God. I probably should. Oh, yeah, here. So, like I said, I don't know too much about her, but apparently she's a cartoon character. She has a gun that, very extremely lethal to Cream Puff. And it shoots a little Bugs Bunny type thing. And yeah, this is Marvel 2018. You know, when I started collecting comics, everyone kind of laughed at you if you collected DC. Everyone collected Marvel. I get the feeling it's kind of the other way around now. So, this is kind of a, despite the goofiness, okay action scene, despite the stupidity and the stupid characters, and like this Hawkeye takes a point to put a band-aid on his nose. And then I first saw this and I was like, what the hell is wrong with this artist? But it's way out of proportion. His head is way too big, but it's actually a story point. See, this is a funny thing for these SJW books. Like, you think a guy grabbing the main girl character and kissing her like that would be like a huge no-no. They would not accept that. But for some reason, it's okay here because he's some kind of weirdo freak or something. I don't know. Brodock. Biorobotic organism designed overwhelmingly for kissing. Yeah. This is their mainline superhero book. This is, like, I swear, an Archie comic is better than this. What the? This is just like the typical, oh, we're so random and ironic. Oh my god. I'm just showing you the whole book. I'll probably get demonetized, but you know what? That's okay because I'm not monetized yet anyways. So, what is, I don't even have the words. Like, this is, I wish they would number the pages because I can't tell if this is a thicker than normal book. This is a sad thing. I haven't bought like a modern Marvel book for like years. I usually try to get them like on sale or dollar bins or something. $4.99 US. I'm in Canada, so that's like, this cost me $6.36. $6 for this crap. It'd be one thing if it was good. It isn't good. It's trash. Look at these books. 95 cents a Canada. 95. 125. All three of these. Still cheaper than this. It's like, this is why comic shops are closing all across countries. Who's gonna pay this much for this crap? Who can afford this at like $5 a pop? Marvel needs to get it together. Like, this is terrible. I'm gonna try to find a shredder to put this through. You know, I purposely didn't watch Yellow Flashes and DNC's review of this because I didn't want to influence in mine, but I did get spoiled on Yellow Flash's ending because someone tweeted him ripping this up with a knife. Which of course caused a big bunch of whining on Twitter, but I think a shredder's the way to go. I'm just gonna find one and stick it in. Yeah, so needless to say, West Coast Avengers 1, don't buy it. Don't even look at it. Oh, I also mentioned too, I had to really find this. Like, I had to really go out and search this. Actually, I couldn't. I showed up on Wednesday. I wanted to make sure I could grab this. Like, I've been waiting months to roast this thing. So I go in there. I can't find it. I asked the lady working there. She's like, I don't know. We might have to order it or something. So I'm like, this sucks. I don't want to order it. So I'm looking through the shelf and I find one copy behind something else, just one, and it's not because they sold out, it's because they only ordered one. That's the state of our comic industry right now. So yeah, anyways, so let's wrap this up. Subscribe, please. Make this worth it for me. Click the bell icon to get notifications. And find something better to read. Thanks for hanging in there. I know it was painful. Talk to you later.